who ends up winning the race to Sarno. But for now, the title battles continue, and we go into our first of 10 races. 2 finals per category. And first up, it is Micromax. And putting it on pole a bit earlier on this morning, it was Casper Schormans in the number 40. Alongside will be Belgium's very own Olivier Jonkers. Thomas Strauven rounds out the top 3 with Max Swiderski in the number 19 on 4th position. Matej Radenkovic in the number 99, and Holland's Tommy van der Stroys, the number 54, will round out row number 3. 7th position, it's the number 3 of Karel Stout. Number 86 of Mieke van der Pijvert starts on 8th position, ahead of Dries van Langendonk in the number 15. Tom van Langendonk in number 26, with Mick van den Berg in the 29th, rounding out the 11-strong grid. 10 minutes have been set on the timer on top of the gantry here at Karting des Fagnes, plus 1 additional lap. We'll see around about 11 or so minutes of action. This is currently the sighting lap, so as they come through the chicane, Casper Schormans is the first one to be greeted by the formation lap board, and he's trying to get them into formation, I think, a little bit quicker than maybe everyone anticipated, and is trying to slow the pack. I have to say, credit where credit is due to Casper Schormans to actually try to get them settling into that rhythm. They're trying to make sure that they get themselves focused, ready for what's going to happen along the next 11 or so minutes to really kickstart the action here on Sunday morning, July 7th, 2019, here in southeast Belgium. And that is very, very tidy indeed. Before we've even hit turn number 5, they are in the 2x2 formation. This is really going to be a little bit of a pressure cooker here, because now it is going to be both Schormans on pole position, Jonkers alongside on the front row, who will control the pace for the next few corners. We've had some great racing throughout the last throughout the season, but also yesterday as well, amidst the fantastic sunshine. The change of conditions has happened. We have got clouds overhead. It is around about 17 to 18 degrees Celsius, with a bit of a wind picking up. Looks like one of the Mojo one of the flags on the podium is actually askew to the left-hand side. We will be holding the podium ceremony for the weekend results here for the second round of the championship. So, for those watching at home on the live stream, it will be Schormans from the Netherlands and the number 40 on the left-hand side of your screens on pole position. Alongside will be the number 16 of Belgium's very own Olivier Jonkers, proudly sporting the GKS Lemons Power colours. So let's see how things unfold. The red lights are on the starting gantry for the first of 10 times today. Will it be a clean start for Micromax this morning? So wait for it. The Rotax engines roaring to life for the first time for battle to commence. Do we go lights out? Yes, we do. And Max Swiderski's already going up the inside of Jonkers. I think also Strauven's getting in the mix there as well. It's side by side. And Matej Radenkovic, I think, was trying to go up the inside there too. Tommy van der Stroy currently sitting in 6th position behind Mieke van der Pijvert. So Radenkovic got a brilliant start there and is up into 4th position, having started from 5th place. But Swiderski got a really good opportunity to go up the inside of Olivier Jonkers on the very first lap. Jonkers is definitely trying to feel things out in the first initial corners as we go into the second infill part of the track here at Karting des Fagnes. But Schormans has got an initial advantage of around about 2 or so kart lengths ahead of Max Swiderski. Jonkers in 3rd, Radenkovic, Van der Pijvert, Van der Stroys, that's the top 6. It looks like Van der Stroys is going for the move on 5th position to try and get past Van der Pijvert. Can't make it stick, drops back and goes into the clutches of a few other drivers, one of which is going to be the number 15 of Dries van Langendonk, I believe, or is that Olivier Jonkers? Well, Jonkers has dropped all the way down to 8th position now, as Swiderski is battling now with Schormans for the lead, heading into turn number 3. As they go into this very fast left-hander at turn 4. And Swiderski really could have had an opportunity to go up the inside of Schormans into that corner, but there was not enough room. As looks like Van der Stoys has lost out another position. The 54 drops to 7th place now. That looks like Dries van Langendonk now up into 6th position, ahead of the number 54. And it is getting incredibly close between the top 3. As Swiderski is still trying to pressurize Shormans for the lead of this race. But behind them is the number 9 of Thomas Strauven. Radenkovic in 4th, Van der Pijvert in 5th. And looks like Tommy van der Stroys is the parallel sandwich between GKS Bread there. So ahead he has got Dries van Langendonk, and then behind is Olivier Jonkers. So Jonkers started on the front row, needs to make some headway. Karel Stout is trying to keep with the trio in front. So the Belgian now in 9th position. Behind them is Tom van Langendonk and Mick Vandenberg battling over 10th position at the minute. But Swiderski is still looking rather menacing behind Shormans at the minute, but hasn't yet been able to capitalise to take the lead. We've got 7 minutes and 20 plus an additional lap to go. Running order thus far is Shormans, Swiderski, Strauven, Radenkovic, Van der Pijvert, Dries van Langendonk, Van der Stroys, Jonkers, Stout, Tom van Langendonk and Mick Vandenberg. That is the 11-strong running order at the moment in this first of 2 finals today. The first one being 10 minutes plus an additional lap. Second one a little bit later on this afternoon, just after the lunch break at around 1:30 will be 13 minutes plus an additional lap in duration. Swiderski still hasn't got an answer for Shormans just yet. Strauven is also waiting in the wings. Strauven has got the ringside seat. So if the two in the front tangle, he has got a chance to get past the pair of them. But whilst the trio at the front are battling, this is allowing both Mika van der Pijvert and Matej Radenkovic to close up. Radenkovic has got a bit more inroads to make at the minute, as now Tommy van der Stroys has broken the deadlock that was surrounding him, and he's now got back up into 7th. He's now got it back up into 6th position, as there has been a change yet again. Now, I'm just seeing whether that is Thomas Strauven that's now dropped down into 4th position. That is the case, because Mika van der Pijvert in the 86 has got past, and Radenkovic is trying to think to do so as well. Goes flying up the inside. Oh, there's a bit of contact between the pair. That has pushed Strauven wide. And Strauven, as a result of that, has not only lost out to Radenkovic, but also Tommy van der Stroys, as Swiderski is like an animal that's waiting to be released to try and get past Casper Shormans. So Shormans is the cork in the bottle here in the battle for the lead of this race. Tommy van der Stroys right on the back bumper, and Matej Radenkovic going through the right-hander at turn number 5. So a few changes here has really changed the dynamic of the race. Van der Stroys has made the move on Radenkovic. That's a good one if ever I saw one. Van der Stroys now up into 4th place. So we have a few changes that is really going to excite and ignite this title battle that will continue all the way through to Karting Genk in the first weekend of October. But meanwhile, at the front of the field, it is still a deadlock. It's still even Stevens between Casper Shormans and Max Swiderski for the win. And Swiderski, as Radenkovic goes up the inside and retakes the position, goes back into 4th, past Van der Stroys. Van der Stroys could have had an opportunity, but then here comes Thomas Strauven, gives the 54 a slight bump from behind as they go through turn number 2. And behind them, you've got Karel Stout battling with 2 of the GKS drivers. A little bit of a touch there, I believe, between Tommy van der Stroys and Thomas Strauven coming out of turn number 3. But Strauven's now dropped back. And Dries van Langendonk, Karel Stout and Olivier Jonkers are hot on the number 9's heels, as Swiderski has no answer thus far. For Casper Shormans, it is still around 4 minutes and 10 plus an additional lap to go. Shormans is hanging on quite convincingly. This has been a sterling performance from the number 40 at the front of the field. And at the moment, the fastest lap of the race has gone to Casper Shormans. And what's more, Max Swiderski said exactly the same lap time, but on the benefit of Shormans crossing line first, he gets that fastest lap recognition. Now, at the moment, the gap between the top 3 was around 0.7 of a second. Van der Pijvert has taken a little bit of time, but only by about a few hundredths out of Swiderski and Shormans on that last tour alone. Van der Stoy still keeping in touching distance as Karel Stout really battling tooth and nail with both Jonkers and Dries van Langendonk, as Jonkers seizes the advantage on the number 3 and goes up the inside on turn 4. So Swiderski still has around 3¼ minutes plus an additional lap, so that's going to give us a little bit more insight as to what's going to happen, as right behind Mika van der Pavert is sitting in 3rd. Redenkovic is coming under fire from Van der Stroys for 4th place. So Van der Stroys wants to wants to provide sort of like damage limitation here this weekend, having taken a clean sweep at Karting Genk. But Swiderski, try as much as he can, hasn't had an answer for Schormans. It's still mano a mano, tete-a-tete at the front of the field, as Van der Stoys gets a really good amount of momentum coming out of turn 1, as does Strauven, so the pair behind Redenkovic, as Van der Stoys looking up the inside of Redenkovic, and as a result of that, Strauven tries to go up the inside of the 54, clashes slightly with the right rear of the 54 chassis, but can't get through, whereas Jonkers, I think, is trying to size up a move on Dries van Langendonk for what is 7th position. The leaders still have got a comfortable gap of around about 7.5 tenths of a second over Mika van der Pavert, who's looking a bit lonely in 3rd, but there are battles galore up and down the field here in the first of 2 Micromax races here today. But try as he might, the number 19 of Max Swiderski does not have any clear answer whatsoever. And that challenger that he's trying to go up against is the leader at the moment, the number 40 from the Netherlands, Casper Schormans, doing an absolutely fantastic job at the front of the field. Van der Stoys is in the toe of Redenkovic, and likewise Strauven's right on the back bumper of the 54 yet again, going through the right-hand sweeper at turn 1, and Strauven again tries for the move. Van der Stoys has to go a little bit wide to go on the defensive nature into turn 3, makes the move stick, cuts the door off for Strauven there. Swiderski still really has been on the back bumper of Casper Schormans the entire race, and he has yet to make a move that's going to decide what might happen. As Van der Stoy... Oh, clash between Strauven and Redenkovic. So Redenkovic gets past Strauven. This has allowed Tommy Van der Stroys to get a bit of clear air now, but it might be a too little, too late for the number 54. He's got a bit of a sizable gap in front of him, up to Mika van der Pavert, who's been pretty much staying in position at the moment. Thomas Strauven goes up the inside of Mateo Redenkovic through turn 12. 43 seconds on the clock. The leaders cross the start-finish line. And Max Swiderski is probably thinking behind that race visor, what do I have to do to get past Casper Schormans? He's probably got this and another lap to go to try and do that, as there's been a change for position, as Mick Vandenberg, I think, has just got past Tom van Langendonk for 10th position. Van der Stoys has caught, I think, Mika van der Pavert a little bit there. Lap times last time around a 62.270 for Van der Pavert. Van der Stoys did a 62.126, so was over a 10.5 quicker. But Swiderski is really not going to have much time left. It's going to be final lap this time around. So running order still. Casper Schormans leads by, well, last time around it was 0.7071 of a second, as Swiderski really closes up on the number 40 through turn 12 for the penultimate time in this race. They come through the chicane. Swiderski tries to do the old Nigel Mansell dummy there, tries to go around the outside to carry the momentum through the corner, through turn 1. Right on the back bumper still of Schormans is Swiderski. What's it going to take for Swiderski to try and seize that opportunity, that last-minute gasp chance to get past the number 40? He's going wider, turning in tighter to turn 3. And, whoa, my goodness me. You've got to be kidding me that Swiderski's going to try and go around the outside of turn 4. He can't make it. Oh, here it goes. It's really kicking off now, because Mika van der Pavert and Tommy van der Stroys are both trying to get past. It's nearly 3 abreast. Oh, there's a little bit of contact there. Could Tommy van der Stroys capitalise here? Oh, and he has to go avoidance out of the way of Max Swiderski. Here comes Thomas Strauven. This is really tightening up. Schormans has got away with it, but there's absolute caramelage behind as Swiderski loses out through contact there, I believe. So through the final couple of corners, it's pretty much been decided. There's more battling. It's side by side between Swiderski and Van der Stroys. Casper Schormans takes another win. Mika van der Pavert goes second. Van der Stroys takes third, fractionally ahead of Strauven. Swiderski takes fifth. Radenkovic ends up in sixth position. But Kasper Schomans had a real lifeline there handed to him, as the likes of Radenkovic, Van der Stroys, Strauven, Swiderski were tripping all over each other. And I think there's a few words being exchanged there between Swiderski and Van der Stroys post-checkered flag. But when it was all said and done, Kasper Schomans wins the third race of the weekend here at Mariembourg by over a second. Mika van der Pevert takes second place ahead of Tommy van der Stroys. Thomas Strauven takes fourth. Max Swiderski takes fifth ahead of Matej Radenkovic. Dries van Langendonk finishes ahead of Olivier Jonkers in seventh position. Karel Stout was ninth ahead of Tom van Langendonk, who won the battle between himself and Mick Vandenberg. So drama in Micromax with Schomans getting away with it whilst others were tripping up all over each other's tyres.